What an opportunity. This is the Outside Gate with Steve Hall on the L4 Media Network, where we're talking US Moto and anywhere the conversation goes. With us today is a young man with a hell of a story to tell. And his dad, it's Jack Nunn and Mick Nunn. How are you?
Good. How are you, Steve?
G'day, Steve. Thanks for having us.
I'm very good, man. Very good to be talking to you guys. So, for those that don't know, they probably, particularly the US listeners, won't know who Jack is. So, the CR85 Cup, which you might know is the one that Chad Reed organised or helped supported for the Aussie Supercross. Jack won the first round, podiumed in Melbourne, and I think second overall in the series. Is that right, Jack?
Yeah, second overall in the series, so heaps stoked.
Yeah, I'll bet. And also, Jack is about to embark on an adventure to move to the United States and be part of Orange Brigade, which is something, pretty amazing and a pretty cool story to tell. So what we might do is just get Jack and Mick to just talk a little bit about how that came about. But sort of for a start, so tell us, I guess, a bit about just when, whether it was Daniel Blair or whoever from Orange Brigade, or how did it come about? Who reached out? How did that opportunity start?
Well, I'm actually not too sure myself. That's more bad. But Daniel's a real nice bloke, and we were looking at over and just going to exploring the United States really, and just the training facilities that they have over there are absolutely amazing. So, just want to go over, experience some of that potentially. So, how to look at all the compounds and stuff like that United States has, and we just come across Daniel and seems like a real genuine guy. So just just started getting in contact with him, and we've had a couple of phone calls and stuff. So we're hopefully coming over for the GT Arena Cross series, so that'll be heaps cool.
Awesome. So you were sort of looking for training opportunities over there, and then you contacted Daniel.
Yeah, that's how it came about, and
yeah,
it's an awesome opportunity.
It is, man. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know. I remember him saying about he was pumped when you won Adelaide. He was like, "Oh, that's my guy," that won that race. So
yeah,
that's really cool. And so you're starting over there in next month, January.
Yeah, so I think our flight to come over there is, we arrive in Dallas January 10, I think, and the first round's January 12 and 13. So
Yep. So you're going to be doing 85 arena cross over there.
Yeah, 85, and I think we're organising a super mini as well. So getting the 85 and super mini class, so that'll be sick.
Yep. And which of the brands are you riding over there?
We're pretty sure it's going to be KTM. We're just in that process at the moment to organise bikes, and Daniel again has done some awesome things for us and created some great opportunities, and spoken to some local bike dealers, and at this stage it looks like it's going to be a KTM 85. Yeah, and one of them will be we're going to super mini for the races just to get some extra gate drops.
Yeah, awesome. And whereabouts are you going to be living over there? So, obviously I'd say, where is he? North Carolina. Is that where you're going to be based? Or
well, for the GT Arena Cross is our first adventure, and that's what we've been spending most of our recent time planning for. So for the Arena Cross, we'll be living on the road. We only just organised an RV to attend the races. Daniel's organised to be able to get the bikes from the races into some training tracks for some coaching and training in between racing, and also get the bikes to the next race.
Yeah,
so that's the main focus at the moment, which is the GT Arena Motocross. The ultimate goal is to go and live at Daniel and Jessica Patterson's facility, which is Next Level 101.
Yep.
And again, we're in, I guess, some
planning
stages for that, yeah. And that's in South Carolina in Grays Court, I think is the suburb.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're lots to do, lots of moving parts and lots to organise. But so at this stage, we're hoping to live at the next level 101 facility. If all goes to plan, we can make the move.
Yeah. How long ago was it that you sort of first got in contact with Daniel?
About 2 months ago, I think, really.
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. We Jack was lucky enough to, I guess, get selected by Motorcycling Australia to have a crack at the World Juniors.
Yep.
We went over there, and that was like our first massive event, and that was a big eye opener. And coming back from that event, we decided, are we going to put the right effort into it and look at somewhere to train more than what we've been doing, and so that's what sort of got the ball rolling. And I do know that I got Daniel's number initially from someone that's been helping us, Baden Blanchett, or BBR, which is Bladen Blanchett Racing, and through his contacts, we got a hold of Daniel, and the ball started rolling from there.
Awesome. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind then, hey? It's all coming together pretty quick, yeah. That's I guess it's something you would have been probably dreaming about and thinking about for a couple of years though, yeah.
When you think of motorbikes, especially like because obviously racing and stuff like that, you just on TV you see Jet Lawrence or like all those boys over in AMA. It's just like that's where I want to make it and end up. So
yeah,
this opportunity to roll around is just, like I said, absolutely amazing. Like I'm so grateful that this opportunity's come around. So hopefully, like Dad said, this will get the ball rolling, and hopefully you can end up in the AMA stages. But that's just a pipe dream. So
yeah, cool, man. Yeah, so you'll be traveling in the RV, huh?
Yeah.
RV life. And how long does that series go for?
I think it's every weekend for about a month. The ones that we're doing, so the last 4 rounds. It's like the 12th and 13th, and just from there every weekend. So I think we're staying for about 27 nights or 27 days in total, and me and Dad are going over there for about for the full month. And I think hopefully we can have plans for my mum and my younger brother to come over as well for the last 2 weeks and come experience some USA life.
Yeah, that'll be hard on Mum while you're away, huh?
Yeah.
Or easy, Steve, which depends which way you look at it.
Yeah, well, it probably depends. I bet sometimes, sometimes easy, sometimes hard, hey? Yeah. I always think about, usually when the situation like yours arises, it's or whether it's Europe or the States, it's usually one parent goes for a start, because of their siblings to look after,
Yeah.
And I imagine that'd be hard. Yeah, it'd be very hard. Yeah, but also it'd be made easier knowing what an amazing opportunity that your child's getting. So
there's lots to consider, and it's something that as a family we've had to have a sit down, because to do any more training than what we're able to get Jack to at the moment, it was potentially splitting the family up, even if we stayed in Australia. Making a move to a different state or a different area to try to facilitate more training. And at the moment, we're not getting Jack on the bike as much as some of the people we're racing, and that's just the way it is, really. So if you want to be competitive, you just got to train more than what we're currently doing, and that's what sort of got us looking around in the first place.
Yeah. So once you're over there, I guess you got to get into the a homeschool program or something like that. Is that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. School here in Australia, so that's obviously 5 days a week normally taken up with training. So normally just the weekend we have to get on the bike as much as possible, really. So
yeah. which isn't enough, hey, nowadays for
Yeah,
what you want to
it's just
achieve. Yeah.
you can. So, just try and get as much bike time as possible, really.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then once you're over there, I guess, Minios, Lorettas, all the amateur national stuff, is that all goals to get to those as well?
Yeah, like obviously, America's going to have some stiff competition. So even just to qualify for Loretta's, considering that I haven't been over there before, is a massive achievement. But to be able to get a good result there would be even better. Same as Minios. Just Minios has also been a bit of a dream, like, because I really like the Supercross style, so it suits my riding style a bit better. So obviously, I would love to go over there and do that, and then Loretta's and all the other series that they have, I guess, would be an amazing experience.
Cool. Were you at? You would have been at Wodonga this year.
Oh yeah, the real mutter that they had in those Supercross.
Dude, did your bike finish?
It did actually. I'm very surprised, but that was a extremely hard race. That was, may as well just go swim with the pigs, honestly. But
Oh, dude, I got a lot of photos and a few videos of that. I might have some of you, although we won't be able to tell if it's you because they're so dirty. But yeah, man, I've never seen so many broken bikes in a race though.
Yes,
I was standing there and I was just feeling sorry for the dads, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the kids, you'll get over that ride, but the dads have got to fix all these broken 85s just everywhere,
And also, like, I reckon there was more broken 450s and 250s, like factory.
Probably, yeah. Well, there was one race we had, three of the front running 450 guys blew their bikes up. Like I think there was a second race, wasn't it? It was Ferris, Tanti, and Mossy, was it? Yeah, they all just disappeared. They almost all blew up in sequence. All at the same time, just about. Yeah, that was an event to remember. That's for sure. I'm glad I was only taking photos. So.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't even tell what bike really. It was hard even for the mums and dads on the side of the track to work out where their riders were, let alone know what lap they were on and whatever else. And we've got some friends that their bikes broke down, and someone who become good friends with their son's bike caught on fire. In those, it was just amazing. It's just how tough it was on the machinery.
Yeah, that was carnage, man. Like we got there on, halfway through Saturday, and they were still trying to do something with the track and pushing slop off it and all this sort of stuff. And
I reckon Wodonga must have jinxed us or something, because I reckon the next two races that we did, like big races, like state titles, was an absolute mutter as well, and just all the next races that we did were mutters as well. So it must have scarred us or jinxed us or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was nasty. How did you wind up in the state for your classes this year?
I ended up. It was between me and one of my competitors, Seth Thomas. He won. I did get second, but I was leading, but had some bad luck I crashed in the first moto in the last round and ended up getting beat by 3 points, I think it was. But it's put it in the books for experience. So hopefully you can get some better results like in the coming years. So
yeah.
It was, I think the last round was in just forgot where that was. I think it was Coffs Harbour or Port Macquarie or something. But it was the track was actually really good. So that's always a bonus.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was a really exciting race, actually, Steve, because Jack and Seth end up going in after two races. They went into the third race of the last round, and they were equal points. So it was really just a case of whoever got in front of the other rider, which it made it an exciting event. And the people up at Port Macquarie, the the guys that run the place are really nice and put on a good show. And the day was a really good event. And Seth took it out and Jack come second.
Yeah. Geez, that's high pressure for everyone, hey? High pressure for Dad as well, you know. Yeah. Cool. And what's your home track up there? I know you're sort of northern New South Wales, but I wasn't sure. That's why I asked you, because I thought today, oh, geez, I hope they're not over the border and they're not on daylight savings time, and then we'll have our times mixed up. And that's why I sent you that message to make sure you're on the New South side. I always forget Queensland doesn't do daylight savings. So
yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it? But we're about a bit below middle. We're like on the east coast of Australia. We're about in the middle of New South Wales, really.
Oh, okay. I thought you're up further up north. Yeah.
We're part of the Illawarra, Steve.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your local track? What's the track you ride the most there?
Well, most local track, like as in the less drivers, Wollongong, the motorcycle track that they have there, but we haven't been there for a while, so Nowra's more just been our go-to track. So Tyson down there does a good job at prepping the track, and had some good people come together and built a Supercross track down there, and he does the motocross track really good as well. So the track's always really fun to ride on. So that's probably my go-to track and most local one.
Yeah, that Nowra track, I follow that. Like I follow just about every motocross thing, I follow that the Nowra track on socials, and geez, it looks good. Like I've looked at that sometimes and thought, geez, that's a long drive, but like that might be a road trip one day to check it out, because geez, it looks good.
Yeah, it's really good in the morning. And then it just gets really hot and just dries out a bit, but the ruts that you get down there and some of the corners are gnarly, and the jumps are real like good floaters as well. So it's a real fun track. Yeah.
Cool, man. Hey, we might just wind it back like most guests. I'll wind back sort of just to the start. So shortest story for you being that you're still a whippersnapper yourself, but like first bike, first race, that sort of thing, or even this is a good one from Dad's perspective too, tell us about all that.
Well, Santa Claus is the reason why this career started. So
good job, Santa.
Yeah, he's taking the blame. But so my very first bike was a Chinese 50, like it was or what, like CRF 50 or something like that. It was like little 4-stroke pit bike, and I think I was about 5 when I got that. And just rode around because my nan and pop had got a farm not too far away from us, so went up there and just rode around in circles in the paddock basically. But I think when I was about 8, Mum and Dad got me my first 50, and I think I did my first race at Nowra. It wasn't a proper race because I wasn't like doing gate drops.
Yeah,
it was like the nippers class. But I was just too big for that really, so I went straight to the 65, and I think I did my first race at either Wollongong or Nowra, and I don't think I did too well, but it was, I can't quite remember it. I can't remember if it was Wollongong or Nowra, but can't quite remember, but it was on a 65. I think it was a KTM, just a second-hand KTM. So yeah.
How did you feel on that for that first race, Dad?
Nervous like everybody, Steve. Yeah. It was a case of Jack just having a $300 or $400 pit bike to start with, and once his mum and I realised he had reasonably good throttle control and he wasn't going to wrap himself around a fence, we just sort of let him ride around. He did heaps of hours on that, and then he was just nagging us to have a go at racing. And we got a second-hand 50, then a second-hand 65, and we had some problems with that one. And eventually, a local Yamaha dealer helped us jump on the new YZ65 when they come out. And then it sort of just took off from there. And before we knew it, we had 2 bikes, and then we had a van to get them around as opposed to a box trailer. And it just sort of it doesn't stop. It just takes over your life and turns into a lifestyle, I think.
What's the local shops that's been helping you out like this year? Do you want to give them a shout out or anything? Like,
well, it's in Wollongong, Fraser's Motorcycles. They helped us out this season with Gas, and so Gas 85, and but unfortunately they were really helpful. But I think they've lost Gas now, so gotta go have a look for another dealer, I guess.
yeah,
But they were really helpful, and always had parts in stock, and so they were really helpful. Yeah.
What about other sponsors that have helped you out this year? Like,
well, my main one is definitely Mossy, because he's my coach, and he just gives me quite a bit of all the training and stuff like that, but doesn't expect anything in return. So he's a huge help for me. He's like, we're mates now, basically. Like, we just go riding together, and it's always good fun. And Pascal Plumbing and Excavations, they're like turning into good mates with us as well. So they helped us out this season, and I can't quite remember anyone else really. There's a lot more. Center Energy's another one. They're really good as well. And then MCS is another big one. And then also my gear brand that I wear, Hostile Handwear, he was really good to us as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you got to get the sponsor names out there, hey?
Yeah.
You mentioned Mossy. That was one of my questions. What a man to have in your corner. Hey?
Yeah, I know. He's amazing.
How did that come about? Did you already know him? Like,
well, we trained with his dad, Greg Moss. I think we started training with him when I was about 9 or 10, and he really was the one, I feel like, that progressed my riding to that next stage. And I don't know, I'm not sure what happened between Greg and Matt, but Matt just come up to Mum at a race day, I think it was in Canberra, and just, is this that your kid here? I was obviously out on the track, and it kind of just went from there, really. I think it was 2021 he started helping us, and he come to my first race at Wagga. So he's just progressed from there, and now, I go riding with him mostly every weekend to go train at Nowra or something like that, and he really is someone special to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, man. It sounds like Mossy will miss you when you go over to the States, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to fold him and his family up into suitcases, Steve, and see if we can get him out.
Yeah. Well, you never know with Mossy, man. He could end up racing that arena cross as well. You wouldn't know, would you? He's like,
that's true.
He pops up racing a different coloured bike in a different colour race, like anywhere and everywhere, doesn't he? So
yeah.
He'd probably be a gun in that arena cross, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
He'd go all right, especially with them starts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a cracker of a starter, that's for sure.
Has he got you dialed on the old Mossy rolling start, or?
I'm not much of a roller because I just don't really trust the gate. But I normally get pretty good starts. In Newcastle and Melbourne, I didn't really put them on the table really, but Adelaide, I definitely got a good start there.
Yeah, but I guess Newcastle and Melbourne too. That's that was all the very best of Australia there on the line with you. So it's it's different to any other time. Different to when you're at a state race or anything like that. The guys, and you certainly weren't getting bad starts, just not quite as good as Adelaide.
Yeah.
What do you think of the three tracks?
My favorite was probably Melbourne. Just it's the biggest track that we had. I think so anyway. And the dirt was just real tacky, and the rear wheel hooked up real nice. And I found it a very flowy track. Like, once I got all the rhythms dialed and the triple, and it was actually a bit of a shame. I wanted to see if I could hit the finish line. But, because it's a metal ramp, they didn't send us 85s over it. So they just kind of did cut off and just went straight back down the start, straight into the first corner. But
I reckon there's probably 5 or 6 years that would have handled that, no worries.
Yeah,
but that's the one. It's the other ones that they were worried about.
Yeah, in case you roll it or something.
Very, very unforgiving down ramp.
Yes, sure. yeah. I wouldn't case it, that's for sure.
There was a couple of big bikes cased it, and oh man, like I thought they were going over the bars.
Some guys didn't even land on top; like they actually landed like into the face of the tabletop down ramp. You should say that.
Yeah,
that looked like that one would have hurt.
Yeah, it was very, very sharp sort of edge on the top of the down ramp. Yeah, it was it was sketchy.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah. And
a really good buzz about it, though, Steve. Some of the people were obviously it was a smaller event, and the promoters, Mick Sinclair, who is a champion, him and his team, copped a bit of flack about how small that track was, but it was just an amazing environment there, and the people in the grandstands were basically like just there, like probably a real buzz around it, and a good feeling, and everyone was close to the action. So that was definitely a good environment and good place to be at, even though some of the keyboard warriors gave it a bit of a hard time.
Yeah, I thought Adelaide was cool, man. Like, I thought it was cool. I wouldn't be surprised if most of the people who complained were probably ones young enough to not remember when that was the norm.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, this is what Aussie Supercross used to look like. Because it was all in little. It was all on tennis courts and basketball stadiums. At one stage, and that was probably the height of Australian Supercross, is when it was running in places like that.
Chad Reed talking about how he had his first Supercross race there as well, and Matt was saying about how this was just like the normal track. Like there's no such thing as Newcastle or Melbourne yet. So
yeah. So I thought it was cool. I can see if you were younger and you didn't remember that, and you sort of been used to watching a lot of American stuff, and you wouldn't have got sentimental about the little track and the little stadium like people of my age do. So, but anyhow, I thought it was cool. The only thing I really thought about Adelaide was because like a couple of mates missed the final just because purely on the amount of gates and so that was the only thing. But they knew that coming in, that it was going to be hard to make the final. When it's you've only got 10 gates, so
it puts pressure on Mossy as well, like only having the 10 gates, and it's a big drive down to Adelaide knowing that you've only got the 10 gates, and it only takes a little hiccup to happen, and you could miss out. And obviously Matt went through that, I guess, the stress of not making the final just because there's not a lot of gates and not as many as normal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, cool. As far as training goes, man, I reckon I know the answer, but are you, for a young fellow, are you self-driven? Obviously, you got dad cracking the whip and Mossy cracking the whip, but are you a self-driven kid?
I very do much like the grind, as we like to call it. So just training off the bike and swimming and running and like going to the gym and stuff like that. It is something that I very much like to do. And then like it's obviously just the reward during the week when the weekend rolls around and you finally can get like jump on the bike and head down to Narrasay and just cut a couple of motos, and I really do much like it.
Yeah, cool. That's the way, because I think that's a I'm not surprised to hear you say that, and I think that's a real separator of especially dudes when they get to about your age. I reckon that's where there's a real separation in whether they're when you're all the little ones are all got to have a bit of push from mum and dad, because you're little, you're distracted and that,
Yeah.
But I think once you get to your age, that's where it really shows you know, whether a kid's self-driven or not. I think that's pretty awesome, and I could sort of I'm not surprised that you are, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot of discipline needed. Just like mum and dad kept me away from all those distractions when I was younger, but I feel like now there's even more distractions like from the outside. Like, you know, this is obviously in a bit like more of time, but you know, do you want to go to the pub or something like that, or you know, have a hit of this vape or something like that. You know, just these kind of modern times that we're in. So it's well, I don't think it's hard myself, but it's you know, all these distractions. It's you got to keep your mind disciplined, I guess, to all these distractions around you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All the top riders in the sport at the moment have a dad who is very much part of the scene. So John Tomac, Darren Lawrence, Brian Deegan, Kia. Is it Kia? Kia Sexton? I think Kia's his name.
Not sure. Chase Sexton.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Kia Sexton. You know, they're all very much part of the scene.
Yeah.
And very much steering a lot of the noise away from the you know, from their sons. So yeah. That's obviously. Do you Mick, do you look at any of those parents and think about how they've gone about things, or
not as much as you probably would expect, I guess. It's between you know, both Claire and I doing a full-time job and you know, running a household and, you know, the family and then this sport, which has turned into a lifestyle. Like it certainly soaks up a lot of your time and keeps you busy. And if there's something, you know, a book or a podcast or a story, I guess, that I have time to sit down and read, or an audio book or whatever, I definitely do it. And especially with the driving we do to get to some of the events. So I'll either listen to books or whatever. But I think just generally bringing kids up, Claire and I have always said, Jack's got to be a good human first, and he's got to try hard at school, and then we'll put the effort into match his effort in his sport of being motorbike. So as long as he checks those first two boxes and he keeps putting in the effort, then we'll do our best to match his effort. And I guess if we see him being distracted, we'd be pretty harsh regardless if he was going to do something that we thought was silly. Vaping that Jack mentioned is unfortunately big with his kids his age and younger. And, you know, we know that's going to have an adverse effect in a few years on these poor buggers that are got nothing else to do when they're doing that sort of stuff, you know, like that's not going to be good for them in a few years' time. And I think regardless, you know, we'd be doing our best to keep the kids away from that sort of rubbish.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like everything I'm hearing there. Yeah, that's for sure. No, yeah, I think you're doing a good job. What do you do for a day job, Mick?
I got a government job, a public servant job here in New South Wales, and I think that keeps me on the straight and narrow. So Claire's a real estate agent, so that's, you know, she's doing 60, 70 hours a week, you know, doing that. So it's, you know, it's like we're ships at night sometimes, just trying to keep the family running and keep them focused. And putting the effort in, I suppose. Like we want to be good parents first, and then just do our best to keep them off the streets and interested in, you know, sport and being healthy.
Yeah. And you said you got a younger sibling. You got a.
Yeah. His name's Rusty. He's a little bugger, really. He's he likes to annoy me, that's for sure.
Rusty, is it actually Rusty, or is it Rusty? Is he a Russell or?
His actual name is Rusty. So
that's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, I think I named him actually. So
did you? Even better.
I think it's a cool name. So
it is a cool name.
Yeah, Jack did come up with the name, Steve, and even before he was born, he's going, no, it's going to be a boy and it's going to be Rusty. And to start with, we were like, that's a bit unusual, you know, a bit of a surfy brand or whatever. But after a while, it became normal. And Rusty is living the dream, mate. He just lives Rusty's best life and does whatever he wants to do, and
gets to travel overseas and stuff like that.
Yeah, he come overseas with us, and all going to plan. Him and his mum will be coming over to America for the couple of the races we're about to do, and we think Rusty's going to end up being a commentator and be right up Daniel's alley, I reckon. Like he's hanging around motorbikes now, and he wants to do commentary, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up giving DB a run for his money at some point.
Jeez, look out. Hey, he might be able to get a bit of advice once he's over there. Huh?
Yeah, Daniel doesn't know this yet, but we're gonna lay it on him and just tell him that he's going to have a little protege following in his footsteps. Yeah.
You know what? I reckon he'll love that. I reckon he'll love it. Yeah. No, awesome. No, that's good. That's good, man. Yeah. Cool. And school, man. So what subjects at school? What's your what's your favorite and what are you best at?
Well, I don't know if you call it a subject, but it's definitely PE or sport. So I don't really like any other stuff, if I'm completely honest with you. Sport is just, I don't know how, but I actually didn't get an A in sport this year or this term. But got an A in English, I think it was. But sport's definitely my favorite, that's for sure.
Yeah. Is there one that you particularly just hate?
Oh, probably math. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like math. It's I have to use my brain too much.
Yeah.
It's funny, Steve. He said he doesn't like it, but he's got his mum's brains. He's just naturally good at maths, and he's even represented the school in mathematic competitions and stuff like that. But yet he's sitting here saying he doesn't like it, but seems to do all right at it. And I think Japanese, you did well this term.
No, I don't understand anything, but I just copied it off the board basically, and she'll be right.
I remember my kids were both at their primary school. They both had to do Japanese for a while. It was just an automatic thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I need one of you to learn this real good because I'm into vintage bikes. I reckon there'd be heaps of good vintage parts in Japan.
Yeah.
That'd be laying around, but you can't track them down unless you can read Japanese. And so I was like, learn it really good so we could get on Japanese eBay and track down parts for my bikes.
Yeah.
But they never did, so I've never been able to do that. So yeah. Cool. Awesome. And any other sports, Jack? Like you probably don't have time, I'm guessing, but
yeah. I like to couple of my mates, me and them ride mountain bikes whenever we can. And that's probably my go-to, skate park or downhill or something like that. But my Nan and Papa got a tennis court up at their farm, so like to play a bit of that as well. So I don't really like footy or any of that kind of stuff, but that's probably my main stuff that I like.
Yeah, mostly stuff with wheels, hey?
Yeah,
tends to be the go.
Being on my brother's a pretty good sport as well, so keep going.
That's all right. How old is Rusty? Is he riding as well, or?
He's 10. He did ride, but doesn't necessarily do it that much anymore. So I think he's just, I don't know, like Dad said, must be a bit of a commentator now or something like that.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, man. Like, riding's not for everyone. Mum and Dad would probably actually like sigh of relief because imagine having two of you going at it like you are. Right? That'd be.
Rusty used to go out and do races, Steve, and he'd come back in and tell us how many magpies and kookaburras and whatever else he saw. Like he'd still manage to, at times get a top 5 or a top 7 or 8, and he'd come in and say, "There's a kookaburra over there and a magpie there," and just had this weird ability to look everywhere but the racetrack and still do reasonably well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, like you never know. There's stories like that about Malcolm Stewart. about Jeremy Martin. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so younger brothers, they used to say like, Mookie when he was little, he'd be just interested in everything else that was going on, more interested in going fishing, just playing, all that sort of thing. And I've heard Alex Martin talking about Jeremy when he was a little bloke. He was just like, just this little kid that was always eating and just, not too interested. And they both sort of turned it around once they got a bit older. So you never know, Rusty might end up picking it up.
Yeah. Rusty, do you want to come and say hello to Steve? We were just talking about you. Can you come in and say good day, Steve?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, absolutely.
The two of us and say hello to Steve, mate.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Rusty, how are you, man?
Good.
Good. So you want to be a commentator like Daniel Blair?
I don't know. My mum and dad are just saying that I should be.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, when you get to meet him, you just tell him Aussie Steve said that he's going to give you some tips on being a commentator.
Yeah. I will.
He's about as quiet as what you'll ever see him, I reckon.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, cool. I've got some probably. Let me think. I'm just trying to think. I've got all my random questions. Trying to think which ones are good for young fellas.
Yeah. I don't think you want to hear Jack singing, mate. So
that's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
I know you've done that to some of your guests before.
Yeah. At the end, we always give a bit of that. Let me think. So here's. I'll change him up a bit. Who's your favorite AMA rider? Like who's your, who's the guy you really want to meet over there?
Well, I want to say Jet.
Yep.
Or Hunter. I'd like to see them both, actually, meet them both. But if we put them aside, because they're definitely number 1 and 2,
yeah,
I reckon I definitely would want to meet either Eli Tomac or Chase Sexton. I reckon they're definitely my number 1 American people that I want to go see and meet. I was actually lucky enough. Matt organised it, but he's got a video of Eli Tomac and he's like, "Hey Jack," and just had a sick message for me, and it was he sent it to us, and we're heaps stoked about never think that Eli Tomac could be saying my name. So
yeah, and pretty cool.
Yeah, Dean Wilson as well. I have met him. I did meet him at what's the name, Oz Supercross, but still looking for one of his jerseys. So need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Geez, you have to hit up. I don't know. Do you know Uribe? Uribe's probably got plenty of them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you have to hit him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a go. And what about so have you been to watch any races in the United States?
No, but that's definitely on the bucket list. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would have liked to go see Las Vegas or the Monster Cup. That probably would have been the one that I wanted to go see. But
yeah,
do you know why that they've stopped doing them?
So it's because of the stadium. So yeah, I can't remember the exact details, but they've just built a new stadium in Vegas for where the Raiders play.
Yeah.
And so it's something to do with the stadium. I think they knocked down the old stadium or whatever, but yeah, something to do with that.
Yeah.
Why that stopped, and then I guess probably COVID probably compounded all of that and as well. But yeah,
anything. Definitely want to go see Anaheim 1, I reckon. That'd be some pretty big hype around that race.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty pumped, man. I'm counting down the days till I head over there. I'm going. So yeah, that'll be pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's part of the Moto Heads crew you're going over there with, Steve?
Yeah. So the bunch of us, all the main event moto, or not all, but a big bunch of the keen listeners, and quite a few of us have become really good friends, you know.
Yeah.
And so we're all meeting up over there and that sort of thing. That'll be cool. Have you guys been to America yet, or
Nah.
No, this is our first
Yeah.
time over there. Yeah.
wow? So straight into straight to Dallas, you said.
Yeah, Dallas is where we fly into. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I think it's Texas, Missouri, and can't remember, is Springfield in Missouri as well? I don't know how to pronounce it. Where's Springfield?
Springfield's the last of the 4 races that we're doing, and then
Okay.
I think that might be Texas. Can't remember.
then we're going to make our way back to Dallas to fly out of Dallas. So yeah, it's a pretty cool round trip. And yeah, like we said at the start of the podcast, Daniel's made it possible. Really, without his help, there's just no way a couple of dudes from Australia can jump on a plane and just rock up and give this a go. Like he's transporting bikes for us, assisting with training tracks, and yeah, like it's an amazing opportunity, and I really don't think that we could have made it happen without his support. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's a very good dude. Very good. Are you? I guess you're probably chasing, sponsors for while you're over there. Like, obviously, Orange Brigade's helping you out and that sort of thing. But you also sort of chasing some sponsors up while you're over there.
Yeah, that's obviously definitely something that would be like really amazing, but whether that happens or not is a whole different another level. So yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like anyone, I guess, Steve, we're I guess you'd say we're a privateer or mum and dad team.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to have some private sponsors help us, the people that Jack mentioned already, and but we've never had like a factory ride or anything like that. I mean, Jack's only 14, but if we're lucky enough to go over there and turn a few heads and get some assistance, and it would just make the dream easier to achieve, I guess, because it's not cheap, and you got to put a lot of hours. And yeah, so if we're lucky enough to, I guess, put on a decent show when we get over there, and then we're hoping that the level of training that Jack gets at the moment with Matt, wherever we can, to going over there and potentially training 2 or 3 days a week or 4 days a week, that would elevate his riding. That's what sort of made us make the inquiries in the first place, just looking for more training opportunities.
Yeah, cool. I know you have an Instagram account and that sort of thing. Are you going to do any sort of up the social game with like like just easy for me to say because I'm into all this stuff, but with the sort of it's a real adventure you're doing. It's a good story, a good adventure. People love that stuff. So, if you were geared up to like do a vlog of your adventure and that sort of thing, all that sort of stuff, you've got a great personality for a young fella. You speak really well. Like to get into that sort of thing, that goes a long way with sponsors and opportunities and that sort of thing. As much as your results do, as you see, like you see a guy like Dean Wilson at the tail end of his AMA career has a huge following and a huge personal sponsors, all this sort of thing. And then the other end of the scale, not to pick on him, but you get a really quiet guy like a Justin Cooper who's on a factory ride, but doesn't have any sort of if his results weren't there, he'd be by the wayside, like what's happened to some other quieter guys that lost a factory ride. So it's definitely worth leaning into that personality you have, and getting into showing that to the world, and doing vlogs, and especially showing the adventure of traveling halfway across the world and hiring an RV and going to race. Like that's cool. Yeah, it's a really cool story. So
I definitely like jumping on the good old YouTube and watching the tube. That's for sure. Dean Wilson's vlog that he does. So that's actually that's a real good idea. So maybe GoPro is definitely on the Christmas list. So hopefully.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, just like, look how Dean does it. It doesn't have to be professionally edited, perfect stuff. It's more about, the content and getting people to buy into your story of what you're up to.
I'd imagine if we're lucky enough to, make it happen and it all goes well, that whether it be people Jack's age or older or younger, that hopefully we can prove as a normal mum and dad type team that you can just sort of put it all on the line and go over there and give it a go. And with Daniel's help, and he's got other people on board. There's suspension solutions that are helping us out, and they've put us in touch with Lynx Racing, and just to supply some bits and pieces. There's Jake from Suspension Solutions already offered to help us out to make things easier for me and the short time that we have. And I guess as with what Daniel's doing, creating a pathway for other countries, like Australia, to be able to go to the States and make it happen without having to go over there on a factory ride sort of thing. You can get over there and just give it a crack.
Awesome. I love it, man. Yeah. Heaps of opportunity. Yeah. What other questions have we got here for you? What is this one here? What was your favorite moment of the year in the AMA Supercross? What was your favorite thing?
In the AMA Supercross?
Or motocross. So throughout the 2023 AMA year, what was your favorite moment of
I can tell you my least favorite moment because that's the one that I remember, but that's when Eli Tomac snapped his Achilles leading the championship. That's definitely my least favorite moment.
Same.
I can't quite remember actually. It might have been in the 250s when it might have been the 250 East-West Showdown or something like that. Can't quite remember, but there's definitely a 250 moment that I liked, and
wasn't RJ sliding in on Jet?
Oh yeah, that was actually good. Yeah, that one there.
That's my second favorite moment of the year. It's the funniest moment of the year, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
was that Muddy RJ? That was sensational. There's
also like another one was just sort of it then. What's her name? Hayden Deegan when he won the Super Motocross Championship. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually would have liked Joe Shimoda to win, but just thought it was cool that Hayden Deegan won. So
yeah, I'm a big Joe fan, so I did want Joe to win, but I like Hayden as well. I reckon he's awesome. That the first outdoor race, that like Hayden's first moto win.
Fox, where was that? Fox Raceway.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, but it sort of come out of nowhere, and he's just like whipped everyone. Yeah, it was like a real it was a real moment of arrival. It's like, wow, this kid's for real. Like we already knew he was good, but damn, he's good. So
yeah, and then like obviously I kind of just overlooked this one, but Jet going undefeated, obviously in the motocross series, because that's pretty cool to think that an Aussie just went undefeated in the AMA Supercross. So AMA Motocross. So that's obviously really cool as well.
It's unbelievable, really, isn't it? Like, because it's a long season, we got used to the idea.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit anticlimactic because you sort of, in the end, it was more like, just hang on, get it done. You just want it was like a box ticked, just get it done, because the whole world knows you deserve it.
Yeah.
But when he was sort of 8-10 motos in, and it's like, wow, this could really happen. That was pretty exciting then.
Yeah.
Like you just and like everyone always said, no, it'll never happen again. Never happen again. Well. Like it just did. So there's no such thing, he could do it again next year. So
yeah.
Pretty
stiff competition as well, so it makes it even more impressive.
Yeah. I'm so glad Eli's back, man.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's cool to see him. I think his first Instagram post or whatever back on the bike. So that's obviously real cool.
Because I want to see, I always love I don't. I say sometimes I'm being a bad Aussie because I don't want Jet to dominate the Supercross. I want a battle.
Yeah.
I want, like I want all those, I want all the contenders battling all year because it's I'm always there for what the best story is,
Yeah, it's one of those things that I can't watch the motocross or supercross if a drink in my hand because I always spill it. Like it's just too exciting. You're throwing your stuff around, but it's going to be a great battle. I think with Chase on the KTM this year, and Jed and Hunter, and Eli back. And Kenny's obviously always sniffing around. So Anaheim 1's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
Did you hear the talk about Anderson opened up about his struggles on the Cowie last year or this year?
No,
I didn't see that.
It was it's really odd, man. So because coming out of 22, like Anderson was very close to winning the title. He won 7 races, and he really took it to Eli. And this time last year, a lot of people were tipping Anderson for the title, and then it all just didn't work out. In the preseason, what do they call it? It's got a flash name, but basically the media day. He opened up about it, and apparently Cowie was using that. I always get it around the wrong way. The BRFC, that shock basically that Sexton loves. That Cowie decided to use that. And basically, in short, Anderson couldn't trust the bike and couldn't get used to it. And they sort of had him running that shock all year, and it basically screwed his Supercross season.
Yeah.
So, it's funny you hear things like that, and you're just like, oh, because everyone's got all the theories about, this and that and the other. And in the end, it was just they changed the damn bike, and the bike was no good.
Yeah.
That also always blows me away. Like, why wouldn't you just go back to what you had in 22 when it was awesome?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like especially if it. Well, I don't understand why you'd run it for the whole season. Like, why wouldn't you go back to that after one or whatever?
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But I think sometimes the factory teams are very rigid on bike stuff.
Yeah.
I only listened to the recent main event moto, and they were saying that Jason's been a bit on the quiet side. Not much coming from him of late. So hopefully he's worked something out.
Yeah. Because I mean, man, like you see him in that 22 form, and he's right in the mix with all the other guys we've just been mentioning. So
yeah.
it's pretty cool. And then we've got guys like Prado coming over, and like
I reckon he'll do well too.
Yeah, I hope he does, because it's cool if he does.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. Like I said, so I sort of fear that Jet's just going to whip everyone's ass, which is it's cool as an Aussie, but as a fan of the sport who likes to watch battles and see different contenders and all that sort of thing, it's not so cool. So but anyway, we'll see what happens there, eh?
Yeah.
I reckon let's find one more question for you. Here's a good one. So you're 14.
Yeah.
But what's your best piece of advice to a kid that's just jumped on a 65 and is really keen?
Well, I think a good idea is probably to get a head start on the off the bike training. I feel like that's what really elevated my riding. And then just, along with that comes like getting in the gym, maybe not necessarily in the gym, but maybe for Christmas or something, get a set of weights or something like that. And then obviously the eating and like I don't know, protein intake and stuff like that. And like the mindsets of also I find is a massive benefit to your riding. Like that could be a sports psych or something like that can help you with your mindset towards racing or just towards, it could be anything really, training, eating, heaps of stuff. But I feel like that's the main focus. Main piece of advice, as well as keep like always 100% effort like the whole time. It's always well and good to have a break, but I feel like it's always have to be giving 100% into everything that you do. And just to say disciplined, I guess, is also another really good thing. I feel like it'd be a good piece of advice. So yeah, that's about it really.
Cool, man. I love it. That's awesome. How's that, Mick?
I was just thinking, I think he nailed that, mate. Yeah.
He knocked that out of the park. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Have you guys got any questions, any topics, anything you want to bring up? Or
I don't have any really.
No, I think we've covered your questions and given us a chance to say some things. We pretty well covered off on most of the things that we were expecting that might pop up during the podcast. But I know I'd certainly like to thank everybody that has helped us for this year, 2023, and anyone else that has helped us along the way, because any money we've saved by people helping us out, we've put back into the program, whether it's diesel to get to the next race or another helmet or another set of goggles or whatever it is. And we're hoping that we get some more support going into the 24 season. We're chatting with a few different people about that now. So hopefully, we can continue attracting a bit of support to help make it all happen. But you got anything?
Then probably also just I don't really need to shout him out, but Chad Reed for obviously the amazing opportunity for bringing back 85s into the Oz Supercross. Like I feel like that's boosted my career, and I feel like that's obviously just I'm really stoked that he's bringing it back really, and like the Oz Supercross was just a sick just event for me in total, and Mick Sinclair, the organizer, and all that. Like I got to do a couple opening ceremonies and stuff, so that was like the hype around the 85 class was huge. So to be a part of that was also like a huge, you could say achievement, but is a very cool experience for sure.
It was very cool, man. Very, very cool to see it happening, and very cool to see Chad. You can just see Chad just genuinely really involved and really just stoked about it,
Yeah.
You could just see the passion in his face, in his body language whenever he talked about it and that sort of thing. So yeah.
And then it also it attracted some very good competition, like Tate Reed, Chad's son, and Levi Townley, Ben Townley's son. Like, they're definitely no slouches. They definitely know how to ride a bike. So it was also real cool to meet them as well. So just this whole experience is just so sick to be around.
Yeah, I can see. Like I've heard whispers also, but I can see international riders coming to do that series for 24.
Yeah. An amazing experience. Unfortunately, I can't do it next year because I'm too old. I'm getting pretty old, but
righto, yeah.
But I reckon it'll be real cool next year.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. All right, man. So you know how we wrap it up then. So you already said you're not too keen on singing, but if either of you knows the chorus for The Gambler.
Oh, funny enough, Jack just got taught that.
The what?
The Gambler. The Kenny Rogers, isn't it?
Kenny Rogers, that's it.
The gambling song.
I don't know this song.
We'll give him a crack, Steve, and see how he goes.
I'll just slide into a verse, and then if you want to join into the chorus, you just jump on in.
All right. Well, thanks for having us anyway, Steve.
No worries. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light, and the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're going to play the game, boy, you got to learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em.
Come on.
Know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting.
I've got the rest.
When the dealing's done. That's all right, man. I wasn't expecting a 14-year-old to be across the gambler.
It's funny. You only just listened to it like a week or 2 weeks ago.
I don't remember listening to it, so it must have a pretty short memory.
I'll remind him later, mate.
Yeah. If it'll learn those for next time, hey?
Yeah.
All right, Jack, Mick, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you to anybody who has listened.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.